Good American Family doesn't cover Natalia Grace's full true story. Here's what we know about a potential season 2. Hulu's scripted miniseries, Good American Family, which recounts the true story of Natalia Grace's disastrous adoption from multiple perspectives, aired its first season finale on Wednesday. The dramatic episode, titled Blood on Her Hands, follows Natalia, Imogen Faith Reed, as a legal case is mounted against her adoptive parents, Christine and Michael Barnett, played by Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass. In real life, the Barnetts were arrested and charged with neglect after leaving Natalia in Indiana and moving to Canada. They had adopted her in 2010, believing her to be a 6-year-old Ukrainian orphan, but later claimed Natalia was an adult con artist pretending to be a child. Natalia has denied all their accusations. The Barnetts petitioned a court to re-age Natalia, successfully changing her legal birth year from 2003 to 1989. However, the Barnetts remained her legal guardians as a result of Natalia's disability. Natalia, who has a rare form of dwarfism called spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia, was eventually adopted by another set of parents, Cynthia and Antoine Mans, played by Christina Hendricks and Jared Haynes. In the TV show, as in real life, the Barnetts don't go to jail. The case against Michael falls apart when the judge rules against any mention of Natalia's age in court. The charges against Christine were later dismissed. Despite the harsh legal verdict, causing Natalia to fear the world would see her as a monster, the final gestures toward a happier future for Natalia with the Mans family. But that's not where Natalia's real story ended. People interviewed in Season 3 of ID's docuseries, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, said they witnessed abuse in the Mans household. Natalia also confirmed she'd left the family, and as of January 2025, she said she was living with another family, the Dipals in New York. Cynthia and Antoine Mans did not respond to BI's request for comment on the abuse allegations. Will Good American Family return for a second season to keep following the twists and turns of Natalia's story? Here's what we know. Good American Family was originally created as an 8-episode limited series. As of writing, Hulu has not announced a renewal. The series creator, Katie Robbins, told TV Insider that the showrunners have not planned for a second season. This series ends very specifically where it does, Robbins said. At the end of that trial, when there is empirical, scientific fact available about Natalia's age, and having that not change anything in the court of law. Having that be not admissible in the court of law really lands this horrifying idea. In a show that grapples with horror tropes, that is the most kind of horrifying thing at the end of the day. That doesn't matter. That doesn't change anything. Although she didn't definitively rule out another season, Robbins explained the Good American Family finale was constructed in a way for the show's key themes, the deceptive effects of bias, the dangers of performative charity, the fallibility of the justice system, to land sharply. I think that to do an additional story here, there would need to be a reason, something to say with it, Robbins said. And never say never, but that would be the thing. Why tell it? If you watch The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, or its follow-up Natalia Speaks, then you know this story is anything but over. With the release of The Good American Family, yet another dramatized take on the mind-bending saga of Natalia Grace Barnett, it's clear that public interest hasn't faded. But for all its polish, the series doesn't come close to covering the entire truth, or at least, all the pieces of it we've come to suspect are still buried under legal documents, conflicting testimonies, and unanswered questions. Now fans are buzzing with one question: will there be a season 2? And more importantly, what would it cover? The story so far. A brief recap. Natalia Grace was adopted by Christine and Michael Barnett in 2010. Originally believed to be a 6-year-old Ukrainian orphan with a rare form of dwarfism, Natalia quickly became the center of a bizarre and disturbing legal and media storm. The Barnetts claim she was not a child at all, but a mentally unstable adult posing as one, going so far as to have her birth date legally changed to 1989, making her, on paper, 22 at the time of adoption. What followed was a web of conflicting stories, accusations of abuse, neglect and fraud, and legal battles that captivated the nation. The docuseries The Curious Case of Natalia Grace laid out the Barnett's side of the story. Natalia Speaks gave Natalia a chance to respond and challenge everything. Now the Good American Family adds another dramatized layer, but also conveniently leaves a lot out. What the Good American Family gets right, and what it ignores. It's important to note that the Good American Family is not a documentary. It's a scripted limited series, which means creative liberties were taken. The show gives a sympathetic portrayal of Natalia, showcasing her resilience, loneliness, and confusion as she shuffled between homes and ultimately left to fend for herself in a Lafayette apartment. But it glosses over or completely omits some key elements that leave viewers wanting answers. Where's Christine Barnett now, and why hasn't she spoken publicly in over a year? What happened in the mysterious gap of time between when Natalia was left in Indiana and when she began living with her new guardians, the Man's family? What about the international implications? Given that Natalia originally came from Ukraine under adoption circumstances that still raise eyebrows. Even more curiously, the Good American Family avoids diving deep into the most controversial aspect of the case. The court ruling that legally changed Natalia's birth year, making her an adult, even while a growing body of medical professionals insisted she was still a child. That piece of the puzzle is crucial and still under debate. What could a Season 2 explore? If there is a Season 2 of The Good American Family, it has no shortage of material to explore. Here's what could, and should, be unpacked. 1. The Ukrainian origins mystery. To this day, little is publicly known about Natalia's early years in Ukraine. A deeper dive into her birth records, the orphanage she came from, and any available medical history could offer vital context. Was there a deliberate effort to conceal her true age? Or was the chaos that followed simply a case of adoption gone terribly wrong? 2. The courtroom fallout. Christine and Michael Barnett were charged with neglect for allegedly abandoning Natalia in 2013. Michael was ultimately acquitted. Christine's charges were later dropped. But what really happened behind the scenes in that courtroom? Season 2 could explore the courtroom dynamics, the strange expert testimony, and why the charges didn't stick. 3. Life with the Man's family. Natalia eventually found a home with Antoine and Cynthia Mans, a devout and generous couple who took her in and treated her like one of their own children. A second season could give more time to this healing chapter of Natalia's life, including how the family came to adopt her unofficially and how they reacted to media scrutiny. 4. The psychological impact. Natalia has hinted at years of trauma, not just from the Barnetts, but from the system as a whole. She has never undergone a full psychological evaluation made public, and yet people continue to form opinions about her based on fragments. A future installment could explore the toll this case took on her mental health, and how she's rebuilding her life now. 5. Loose ends and new clues. Natalia has teased in interviews that she knows more than she said, and that she's held back out of fear or for legal reasons. Is there a bombshell waiting to drop in a future court filing, memoir, or legal twist? A Season 2 might finally bring some of that into the light. Will there actually be a season 2? As of now, there's no official announcement from any network or production company confirming a second season of The Good American Family. However, given the ongoing fascination with the case and the fact that Natalia herself remains a compelling